Hi, this is How to Have Cancer. I'm Tracy Barton, and today we're going to talk about losing your hair. Although hair looks pretty good today, I'm going to give myself some props. I did not do anything. This is day 2 of not washing my hair in the shower, so we're doing good. This is not blonde, this is gray, and that's what happens when you're 49. Ha! But when I was 31 and I had chemotherapy, I lost my hair. And you think you're prepared for it. And they told me I was going to lose my hair. They said it would happen after the first chemo. I had 3 weeks between my chemotherapy, and we were 2 weeks after, and I'd still not lost the hair. And I thought, maybe I won't lose my hair. Maybe I'll be different. And then one day, you just kind of touch your hair, and it falls. It just comes out. And I would say you're not even tugging on it, like any pressure just released it from your head. And that was weird. And I called in my husband at the time and said, check this out, and just touched it, and it just came out. And it was so strange, kind of fascinating to tell the truth, but then didn't know what to do. What I did do is I called my beautician, and we gave myself like a short haircut, and I was like, let's do some fun things. Like, before we do the short haircut, like, let's do a mullet. Like, let's cut the front short, and then like, let's not do the back. Let's take some fun pictures. And she wasn't having that. She had her own cancer journey, and she's like, no. I was like, oh, let's do a little bit fun. But we ended up just cutting it short and took a picture. And I never had short hair. I've always had long hair. That's not true. I got it cut short. My mother cut it short when I was 8 years old because I was going to go to St. Louis for the summer, and it was going to be hot, and she wanted me to have short hair. And my best friend said, who's the new boy at school? And it was me because of my short haircut. She did not recognize me. So did not like short hair. And now I had short hair and just tried to embrace it, and went to the hospital for my next chemotherapy. I was like admitted to the hospital for my chemotherapy because it was over a period of 5 days. And so just waking up in the morning with hair on the pillow every day and just really feeling kind of demoralized. It's just, I don't know, it's just weird to wake up and have that hair gone. And so what I had done was, knowing that I was going to lose the hair, I didn't think I was a wig person. Now there's much better wigs, but the wig that I had tried was like a friend of ours who was in her 60s, and I was like, tried it on, and I was like, this is not me. I could have tried on a better wig. I have a friend now who wears a wig, and she looks fabulous in these wigs. Like, you would not know she's wearing wigs. She styles them fantastically. So that was my naivete at 31. But I asked for hats because I love sports. And so I said, give me hats. Like, give me hats from places that you're from. Give me hats of places that we went together. Give me hats. And then I got some fun hats, and I got some ridiculous hats. I got a hat with a beanie on it, like a propeller, and I got a headband with an American flag on it. My family from St. Louis got me St. Louis hats. It was really fun, and so we kind of made it a fun thing. And that was my first kind of experience of being able to have a little control with my baldness, is that I got to use these hats as a way to express myself, as a way to connect to people, as a way for people to show me that they cared about me. It still doesn't make it go away that you're a woman and you're bald. I think it's easier for a man to be bald. I'm sure it's not easy for a man to be bald, but I think it's easier for a man to be bald than a woman, because hair identifies us, right? It's how we do our fashion. It's so much of an identifier with a woman. It rocked my world. I remember walking by myself in reflection and being surprised. And I remember people looking at me like I was sick. And that didn't happen before. Even though I was sick before, they didn't know it because I had hair. And so now I didn't have hair, and I looked sick, and I didn't like it. Tried not to not go out. I tried to still experience the world, but you feel people looking at you. You hear the sympathy in their voice, and I'm an independent woman. I did not need or want people's sympathy. I wanted their support, but not that type of, felt like pity. That's not what I wanted. So I ended up going to get henna just because I wanted a henna because we were going to a friend's engagement party who is Indian, and he had invited us to the engagement party as someone we're very close to, like family. And she said, "Do you want me to do your head?" And I was like, "What?" And she offered to do my head, and I was like, "Let me think about it." And I called her back and I said, "Yeah, let's do it." And so she did the most beautiful flowers on my head. It was amazing. I mean, from the base all the way up. And so anywhere that hair would normally be, she put these beautiful flowers, and I loved it. And then I would go out and people would look at my hair and I'm like, "Oh, they're looking at my awesome flowers," right? And it just made all the difference. It just felt like it was my choice. I didn't choose to go bald, but I did choose to put a design on my head. I did choose to let people start the conversation by looking at my head, by putting a design on my head. I'm like, this is not something that I am sad about. This is something that I'm empowered about. This is something I own. I chose this design. So I chose to draw attention to my bald head, which means I'm not afraid to talk about this. So you don't have to pussyfoot around me and not say what's obvious is that I don't have hair. You don't have to look at me like a victim. It really was game changer for me. And so then we went to this engagement party and it was amazing. Like all these people were like, "Can we see your head? Can we see your head?" And a friend of mine like took the best bald picture of my head. I still love that picture. And you can just kind of see pure joy on my face because I was just having a blast with it. And it was really one of the first times I had taken back my power, and I realized how important that was. And so what I would do differently is I would have taken back my power earlier. I talked to somebody and their wife had had breast cancer and they knew that they were going to go bald. And so she had a head shaving party, which I think is so cool, man. She had her friends over and they had so many bottles of wine and they played great music and they each took like a turn taking a pass at her head and they just like made the wackiest hairstyles and and just had a ball with it. And can you imagine how empowering that is? Like, yes, it's sad, but it's going to be sad anyway. It's much better to shave it off than to wake up with hair on your pillow. It's just just every time is a reminder that you're getting something taken away from you, where if you just shave it off, it's like ripping off a band-aid, right? But I thought that that was just the coolest thing to do, to involve your friends, to make it as much of a party and just to take back your power. I choose this, I do this. And so I would have loved to have known that ahead of time. I don't know if I would have been bold enough to do it, but I hope I never have that experience again. My hair clearly grew back. It did not grow back exactly the same color. It's a bit more dull even before the gray had come in. It also really came back super curly. And my hair has had a wave since I hit puberty, but I did not ever have to deal with this level of curl. And like you'd brush it out, it would just it would just look like a giant Q-tip. So I had to learn how to do curly hair, and I used headbands, and I did all kinds of stuff. I wore makeup because not having hair made me feel very not feminine. And I don't wear makeup, but I had to for about a year until my hair grew out long enough that I felt feminine enough, that I felt like this haircut is a haircut that an attractive woman could have and not a haircut that someone who was recovering from cancer had. So, what I would say is if you know you're going to go bald, even though you know it, you can prepare for it, and I hope you can handle it. I feel like as a woman, it's a different level, and you should be aware of that and know it and try to find a way, maybe with a wig or something that makes you able to go into public without feeling that sympathy that people give you, that look that makes you feel other. It's so hard to go out and feel like everyone sees a sick person. So I do believe that wigs are a great option. I think that hats are a great option, or something that just allows you to go to the store and look like a normal person and not have to feel or to look as sick as you feel. And empower yourself. Do whatever it takes to take back the win, whether it's a henna like I did or a party like my friend's wife did, something that really takes it back and puts it back in your control. That's my advice. And it will come back curly, maybe. It will come back a different color. It might come back gray. It might come back thin. It might really not come back at all, but I think those are more rare. And you get to be a new you. And I never took chances with my hair, and you could color it, you could do so much. Like, I should have colored my hair blue before I let it fall out. Like, what was I thinking? It was gonna fall out anyway. Why didn't I just have an adventure with it? I would do things differently. I hope I don't have that chance, but I would do things differently the next time around. So enjoy what you can enjoy. Does that sound crazy? But just take your power back. This is your hair. And if someone's going to take it away, why don't you take it away on your terms? And I just wish you the best of luck and health. Bye.